the show right now. Hey, finally, once and for all, Undisputed King, are you there, Daddy?
What's up, guys?
There he is, Ian Rotten. What's up, Daddy? We finally got you. I know Mr. California, he's going to come in later to talk to you about, you have some news for Southern California, but right now you're talking to the Midwest. We're St. Louis, guys. Number one most dangerous city according to the FBI. Thank you very much. Whoop, whoop. We got it going on in St. Louis. These guys in L.A., they don't know what they're headed for when they come out to the Midwest, Ian. We're the most dangerous, aren't we?
I want to know how this guy got the name Mr. California. I mean, is because he's the only guy that does hardcore wrestling in California. He's the best guy, that does hardcore wrestling in California. I mean, if that's the case, then I should be like Mr. USA, and I'm not talking like Tony Atlas, Mr. World or something, this guy, I love how he got his name.
Hey, Ian, I don't want to steal Mr. California's question for you, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. This is Violence Jack here, and I know that he's itching to ask you, what is your, are you totally stoked that The Miz is the WWE champion?
These promos are great. His work's just the drizzlings as far as I'm concerned. He's gotten a lot better. My 14-year-old son just thinks he's awesome. So, talking to fun there, but
Can you imagine the king of the deathmatch, the lord of the hardcores, Mr. California, is keeping up with what the fucking Miz is doing? God damn, get real.
Well, he needs to keep up with something. He should really try to invent like a different image for himself. Mr. California,
No, Mr. California loves that the Miz won. The Miz is this guy. Hey, listen, I don't know if I'm jumping myself on barbed wire and
I don't know, but from a guy. But listen, a guy from St. Louis area should be like pulling for like Evan Bourne. A Missouri boy,
And listen, we don't give a fuck because we got Randy Orton. He's already the champ, isn't he? I think any Violence Jacket. We don't watch it.
I don't know.
Ian, we don't watch it because it fucking sucks. It's boring. It's terrible. It's the worst show on TV. There's not a show worse than Double E on fucking TV unless they had the old school show like a couple of weeks ago or whatever. That was okay. That was fun because you had
it made me really sad because I thought. Yeah, but that made me really sad because I thought, oh my God, Dusty Rhodes is getting old. That means I am, because the Dream was the reason why I wanted to get into wrestling, and when they.
Well, yeah, but Dusty Rhodes is old, he's old, but hey, listen, that motherfucker, I guarantee you, if Steve Corino wanted to put the rope on his wrist one more time, I bet Dusty Rhodes could pull out a badass match with the dude, and if nothing else, he could talk the crowd into the arena, which none of these new boys can do. None of them.
Let me tell you guys a great story real quick. Around our 8th anniversary, in October for our 8th anniversary show, I brought in Dusty Rhodes to tag with me. That was my dream. The Dream was the reason why I wanted to be a wrestler, and so I went ahead and brought him in the IWA, and I tagged with him, and so in December we brought in Terry Funk, and Terry Funk walks up to my partner Jim Fannin and he says, hey, I heard a couple months ago here you had old fat ass in here wrestling. And Jim goes, if you're referring to Dusty Rhodes, yes, we had Dusty Rhodes in. And Terry goes, well, what kind of stuff did he do? And Jim was like, oh, he was great. He bled all over the place. He did the Ricky Morton role for the hot tag to Ian. It was absolutely fantastic. And Terry Funk goes, well, I now know what I have to do. And Jim's like, well, what's that? And he goes, I got to go out there and outwork fat ass. and we couldn't get Terry out of the ring. He hit Candido over the head so hard with a garbage bag. Candido's head went through the garbage bag. He got hard-weighed with a can that was in the garbage bag. I mean, he was just 20-some minutes. He was just going nuts. And those two guys are I had the privilege of being in one of the gatherings when they had Terry Funk and Dusty Rhodes on there, and those two guys are like watching a live version of Grumpy Old Men. And I mean, they have much respect for each other, but it's hey fat ass, hey old man, I mean, it's a great back and forth banner. But what I was saying about that is it's great to see the guys that made us wrestling fans and made us want to be in the business, but in the same retrospect, those days are long gone. Watch 1980 wrestling from the Crockett era, and watch the people just go bananas for the Rock and Roll Express on a hot tag. I mean, those days are gone.
No way. Listen, I go
part.
bananas. I still go bananas if I watch the matches now. I go banana for those for all those. I watch AWA every fucking single night at 11 p.m. on ESPN Classic because that's wrestling. That's real. I mean, it's really good. I mean, even though it's really shitty, and at the time it was compared to Crockett or even what WWF was doing at the time, it was still like it was shitty, but it's still good now. Like compared to what they do now, that those AWA Classic shows are classic. They're great, and you know who's the greatest of all times? And Ian, I'm not disparaging you. I'm not disparaging Dusty. I'm not disparaging Larry Zbyszko. Colonel De Beers is the greatest guy that ever fucking worked.
Oh, the Beers and Snooker's feud in AWA was some of the most classic stuff ever.
I've patterned my whole style.
When you talk about the Beers, a guy used to be a friend of mine, a story about how they were on a plane back in the AWA days, and a black person sat down next to the Beers, and he got up and wouldn't let the plane take off until they got that person into another seat. And he was like, I am not sitting next to this Negro. This plane will not go anywhere until I have another seat. I mean, the dude lived his gimmick. That's for sure.
That is awesome. I never heard that. I always saw the Big Bill Tab matches and stuff like that, where you get up and just walk around and then you take the walk out DQ. But I never knew he actually lived that. See, because I always thought that De Beers was probably like an old timer that had like a different gimmick that eventually came out along when the South Africa thing started getting hot. Like kind of the Russia thing was hot for a while. Like I always thought, I don't know who Colonel De Beers was before the South Africa thing. Was he somebody?
He was an equal opportunity racist. He hated everybody. I mean, he really did. I mean, some of the stories I hear about him, and he would raise a fit saying Snuka stunk before their matches, and all that kind of stuff, and and I asked Snuka about it at the gather, and he was like, "Oh, brother, I don't want to talk about that motherfucker. I don't want to talk about him."
Oh my God!
I was like, "Whoa, I guess that's sensitive."
Where is Colonel De Beers now? I mean, I always thought he was like an old timer that everybody kind of knew or something like that. Like I always thought that he was kind of like one of the boys, and like everyone was just like, okay, this is his gimmick, and it's cool because it's his gimmick, But
dude, I'm not really trying to put the guy over, but I swear everything I hear about him is that was him. That was who he was,
By the way, Jack, get me Colonel De Beers. Colonel De Beers is my favorite of all times again. Finally, once again. Because
I think he lives in Minnesota.
God damn it. Does he work at all, or does he go to any Legends conventions or anything?
I don't know. I mean, that would probably be a great idea for, high spots or one of them guys to try to figure that out. He might actually be a draw because people, he doesn't do that much, But then again, he could be like Bob Backlund and wants you to say the president's frontwards and backwards to give you an autograph, or God only knows what he wanted.
Hey, I do anything. I do anything for Colonel the Bears. Colonel the Bears is my man. Colonel the Bears is number one. But Ian, come on, high spots. You gotta be kidding. You're talking to Awesome Bomb now, Daddy. High spots are these guys. You're talking to the minor leagues of nobodies. The high spots. We got that talk. You know what I mean? Hey, Violence, I know you're laughing, but come on, man. You know what I'm saying.
I just hear that they do a lot of stuff with the conventions and stuff. So that was my point. So if you can do it, my motto is if somebody can beat me with a bigger, better show, go ahead and do it. If you can't, just shut up and move to the side. So I mean, if you got a bigger, better show than them, you got a bigger, better show than them. But I'm outside that realm there. I'm not, privileged to the convention scene all that much. So I went with what I knew there.
Yeah, well, bringing that up, but you're not privileged to the convention scene. I don't know. I mean, just from being online and knowing, because I mean, you're talking to guys from. We're in the production of other types of entertainment, right? Me and Violence Jack, we're in punk rock bands, we're in fucking horrorcore type bands. We do productions of all kinds. But just from doing a little bit of research, just a Google search of Ian Rotten Rotten's name is, man, people hate your guts, dude, online. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of, I'm just saying, a lot of times that shit's not fair, but and a lot of times that shit's cultivated. Like, you can cultivate it.
Tomorrow you could say Ian Rotten raped my grandmother, and it would be all over the internet as it was a true story.
Right.
Like for instance, I'll give you a perfect example of a story that's going around about me. And I'll give you guys the whole scoop on this because I never even really spoke on it because it's so stupid. But as you know, in September, J.C. Bailey passed away, and
right.
And August. Anyway, and I'm not speaking ill of the dead here, but his mom really had a vantage point of the wrestling business that even though she knew what the wrestling business was, she still looked at it upon it as reality. And when JC first passed away, his family believed that he might have died of a brain aneurysm from taking headshots. And so I walked in the funeral home. We got some food, and first story that was that I wasn't welcome there. Joe his father welcomed me with open arms, told me to call before I left Chicago because I was living in Chicago at the area, and told me to call, once I got down in the area so he knew that we got down safe. In the meanwhile, my vehicle broke down on the outside of Indianapolis. Cost me a ton of money to get it fixed and stuff. But I went ahead and got some food, was putting some food in the refrigerator because I knew it was going to be a long day for everybody. And, I'm originally from the East Coast. In the East Coast, somebody passes away, everybody brings food, and it makes it a little easier. And so I heard Vicky screaming that I killed her kid, and, I was the reason why JC was dead and all this stuff. And so I gathered up my food, and I went to leave. And, I told somebody, I said, I can't leave just yet because my friend Vince Jones is coming to meet me here to lend me money to get back home because my van broke down and it cost me so much money to get down there. I didn't have enough money to get back in gas and stuff, and because I had my whole family with me. And that led to JC's aunt handing me $15 and telling me that'll at least get me back to Louisville. And I said, well, ma'am, I don't really need that. It's not a case of getting back to Louisville. It's a case of getting back to Chicago. Then Joe came outside and said, Ian, don't worry about it. She's just grief stricken. Just stay away from her. JC would want you to be here. Come on back in. So I went back in and proceeded to do what you do at a wake and stuff. And when his mom wanted to be around the casket or whatever, I left the area. Well, anyway, story gets on Facebook thanks to a big bald-headed retarded asshole, and saying that I'm asking his parents for gas money and all this stuff, and I was unwelcome and everything else. When that was the farthest from the truth, and anybody that wasn't there is taking it as it's perfectly well, it's reality, So I mean that's what the internet's good for, is bashing stuff that nobody knows about, and and
right for you.
I guess.